Application of e-commerce portal application which we have created a couple of days back as a part of our training, wherein we have discussed about the dashboard creations. At the same time, any kind of dashboards to be created as new that can be done even. At the same time, to whom this is to be assigned with in relate to that, whatever the people who are relating for the project and all, those people were also added into the existing ones. This is what we have done so far. Now here what I have shown you in the previous session about, if I am not wrong, I have shown you some leads right here, right? So visualize these leads and all that stuff, right? Whatever the task do we have and all everything, I think, right? So this is what the tasks we have discussed in the previous session. At the same time, we have discussed even about the calendar, like discussing of the services, review of the pricing, followed by the opportunities, right? So all these things we have created in the previous session. So we have discussed about the kind of appointments whichever is required, where you can see, because this customer relationship management application majorly makes us to understand about how we are managing our customers well in advance. So if you'd like to know about that, first of all, being a person who is working under a CRM application should know about the kind of activities are we performing, followed by the kind of appointments what is that we have given to the people. So there are here in reference to the all appointments and all, here we can select the appointments which are something essentially important to understand it. All the appointments can be seen here. What about the appointments and all everything we can see. At the same time, for the next today or earlier, for example, if there is any kind of appointments which are relating for the particular day, that also can be seen here under the appointments itself. At the same time, we have an option where we have an option called edit columns, because these are the columns which are subject to the requirement what we have. These columns and all everything can be uh, added, right? So we can apply these columns and all, right? So these columns may be, for example, add column, where if you want to add the column in reference to the category itself is concerned, right? So this categories and all everything can be used for. At the same time, here you have an option called priority, where I'm moving this to the top of that, right? So this is what generally I'm moving it, right? So I'm moving this into the top because priority items has to be taken into an account first. So followed by the here these edit of column settings in reference to the meeting what is that we are going to conduct has to be organized in a proper manner, right? So priority is the highest one. After that, whoever is owning, I am putting on the top of it, right? So I'm putting on the top, like owner I'm putting on the top, followed by owner I'm mentioning even the locality even. Next, regarding, after that subject, next status, category I'm mentioning here. After category I'm mentioning about the status here, followed by the required attendees, all that stuff, right? So this is how generally the prioritization has been made, wherein I'm just clicking on apply, where you can see based upon the prioritization what we have made. So these updations followed by the kind of changes and all everything can be made accordingly. That's what generally we can do in reference to this. At the same time, if you want to see this in the chart manner, right, whatever we have prepared and all everything, so this chart can also be prepared along with that. Whatever the required charts do we have and all everything. So right, if for example, if you'd like to know about the duration part of that work, what is being given to the team members and all that, so all these things can be seen here, right? So all appointments, that's what all appointments and all everything is being used here. At the same time,
Where
there is a called task where we have to provide the kind of tasks to the people, but make sure whatever the tasks were there, right? So I'm just selecting all the tasks, whatever the tasks we have and all everything can be seen, because there will be some open tasks which are available for some time. At the same time, whatever the tasks we have done from complete and cancel can also be seen. At the same time, if you want to define the task and all, here there is an option called import from Excel, right? Wherein we can update the information from the Excel as well. From Excel is what I'm taking now, right? So for example, I'm choosing a file, something relating to stakeholder. For example, stakeholder management is what I'm doing. Okay, this is an information I'm taking. For example, right? So this is the information I'm taking now. So stakeholder identification is what the information I have taken. File upload. Next. Mm, no, this is not getting compatible here. Let me delete this and do it again. I think it's not accepting the Excel sheet here. Why is it not taking Excel? Should supposed to take Excel. Right, so select download for imported records. Mine is here. Okay. Mhm. This is not getting imported here. Import from CSV. Import from XML, it is not handling it. Let me refresh and see once. It's not taking, it seems, right? Import file, it's not taking.
um I wouldn't worry about it. We can move on.
1 minute, let me check. Let me check. If it was not happened, I'll go for next one. Okay, we'll check later. Right, so it was not accepting. Okay, right. So yeah, so these are the tasks which we have. Where here we have to show whatever the task do we have and all everything. whatever the tasks we have opened so far, followed by the kind of tasks what we have completed, all that stuff. So here there is an option called task here, wherein you can click on this. And now here we have to mention the tasks, whatever the tasks and all everything, the task has to be mentioned. For example, our task is that mm, creating a shopping cart. Okay, right. So this is what the task I am taking now. Mm, while browsing this e-commerce application, while browsing the e-commerce application, we need to search for a shopping cart link so that we can update all the products, whatever we have. We can update all the products, whatever we have selected as primary. Okay, as primary, right? This is what the description I have written. So here regarding, right, for example, regarding if you want us to have a new these things and all everything, so new contacts or new leads and all that everything. So here this there is a lead where we have to update the lead, all that stuff. If it's a lead I'm talking about. Okay, so is it regarding for what is it is asking us, right? So it is relating to the accounts I'm mentioning here, right, where we have to mention the account details. So we have to mention the account details, revenue details, all that stuff. Of course, I'm not getting into that because this is only a task I'm creating. I'm not something creating for the purpose of leads or for the contacts or for the accounts, right? So this is not something relating to that. This is a task which was created here where we need to mention the duration which I have given for 45 minutes is the time I have given here, wherein we can click on save, wherein we can click on save. So once this is done, right, so creating a shopping cart is what we have created, right? So if you want to keep it in completed format and all everything, we can put it, or else is it still in the state of open and all everything, that also can be created by us accordingly. At the same time, there is a task one more which was creating here, where we have to see status, normal, priority, all that. So if you are clicking on mark complete, automatically it will be completed as done, right? That's what it was showing you. One more subject is uh, creating a payment gateway. Okay, that's what I'm creating. Payment gateway is being used to payment gateway is being used to uh, update all the payment records. Right? So all the payment records, the way customer is customer is paying. Okay, that's what I'm taking. I've taken this for 30 minutes. Yes. Okay. Now here, if you are clicking on mark complete, automatically it will be considered as complete. So that what I'm doing is, I'm just clicking on save. Okay. I'm not clicking on mark to complete. If I'm closing on clicking on mark complete, automatically tasks and all everything can be seen here accordingly. So related and all everything, if there is any kind of related activities to be taken care of, or if you want to see the audit history, what is that we have prepared so far, right? So whatever the history in reference to the application development what we have, all this can be seen here accordingly, right? So this is where generally this audit history, all these things are useful to us, right? So yeah, so this audit history, let me check. I just, it is under buffering, just we'll wait for some time. Yeah, so this is audit history here where we, whatever the audits, whatever the works we have done so far, everything can be seen here, right? So whatever the workflows we have created, right? So if there is any kind of works which we have identified and updated and all everything here. Activity monitors followed by the background processes, right? So whatever the background processes we have, so those, if there is any kind of connectivities which is happening and all which we have created, it will be shown us. But because plugins we have not created here, since it is the status and all everything, it is showing as failed. Why? Because this connectivity we haven't done so far, right? We haven't updated it, hence it was showing at is this, right? So system job associated view, this is not required. So this usually we do in the beginning, in the last of the project. So whenever we are doing it all, so there we'll be doing all that stuff. That's what generally we do here. At the same time, don't require an open a window. Okay, right. So here you can see, right? So reviewing pricing. Yeah. So here reviewing pricing proposal with finance, which was already there. At the same time, now I have created an task where creating a payment gateway, which is in the state of open. So as of now, there are three issues we have taken. Three are in the open state. There is one issue we have taken, which is creating a shopping cart, which was completed here accordingly. So here we can see whatever the overdue tasks what we are having here. These are the tasks which are overdue. Why? Because there are some due dates which was given. What is the date today? Today is 28th December, right? So, but it's supposed to be completed on 16th. 16th of December it has to be completed. At the same time, even this is 17th, right? So uh, these are the two open items in reference to the overdue we have, because the new one what we have created, the recent one is this, right? So this is what the a new one we have created, right? So new one is not something required because new one was already created, so that we don't see all that stuff, right? So because that is not something required here, we don't need it, because whatever the two different tasks we have and all everything, so these tasks are in the state of overdue, where one has to be completed by 16th of December and one more has to be completed by 17th of December. So these are the two different things we have here. So this is how generally the task creations and all everything you have to make out of it. At the same time, if anybody wants to edit the kind of filters, whatever is required in reference to the application development itself is concerned, if you want to reset any kind of stuff and all, you can do it, right? So here is a warner, very equivalent to current users and all that stuff. So this is a kind of flow which generally applied here, right? So we need to add some items and all, right? If you want to add any kind of rows to the existing stuff, or if you want to add any kind of groups to the existing and all, so these editing of filters can be done. So filters, for what reason these filters will be used? Because when we are working on any kind of application, This filters has an advantage where we can access the information whatever is needed with immediate effect. So that filters will be created so that whatever how many functionalities and how many requirements or how much of information we have completed here, that can be traced out easily if you are creating filters here. So editing of filters and all everything is being used for that purpose itself. You can see this is a grid level information I have shown you. Followed by this is a Kanban model where you can see all the tasks. Whatever the tasks do we have and all everything. Either these tasks may be in a state of open or close. These tasks, every task will be shown here accordingly. Do you understand, Ukayo? Clear?
Yeah, I understand. Yep.
Right. So this is what generally tasks will be used for. If you want to visualize the view of the tasks and all everything, so this can be connected with, of course, if you have a connectivity with Power BI, so that you can get the records. Make sure we can get the records here, because Power BI and all everything will be used for data visualization purpose, all that stuff. So we have an advantage because nowadays data visualization playing a vital and important role. Where we have an advantage, we can connect to data visualization and we can see the reports. There is an advantage here, especially in data visualization side. So that advantage we have, fortunately, but of course that we have to see to what extent it is and all everything, that we have to see it. But usually this data visualization, to know about that, so that decision making will be much easier for you, because you will be knowing about the satisfaction level of the customer, or else the kind of services what is that you are going to provide, to what extent customer is accepting your proposals and all everything, you will be knowing here. So well in advance, if you are working on that, what we called if you are working on um, this Power BI, all that stuff, right? So that you will be knowing about this. So make sure we have an option where we can connect with multiple things. Here we have an option called settings, right? So wherein if you want to do any kind of settings in reference to the personalized settings, or if you want to do any kind of advanced level settings for the existing application, we can do all the settings here. But normally the settings and all everything will be taken care of by the people who are taking care of the administration part, because whoever is taking care of administrator related stuff, those people will be doing these changes and all. So these changes according to the customization of the requirement of the application what it belongs to, because the kind of application we are using, whatever the changes are we making into the existing one will be varied from one another. It will not be the same all the time. So changes can be made, but if you want to make any kind of changes in reference to the advanced settings or personalized settings, there is nothing, no need to do any personalized settings. But maybe advanced settings can be done, but generally administrators will take care of that. Because if there is any kind of authentication, authorization services and all these things will be taken care of by them there, right? So that is what generally these advanced settings and all everything are being used here accordingly. At the same time, yeah. Right. So at the same time, in reference to the calls itself is concerned, because this is in reference to the customer calls, whatever the customer calls and all everything. So all these calls which are in the state of due now, or else all the calls, right? So for example, if you want to select overdue calls, where you can select all the overdue calls, so that it will be easy for us to do whatever the overdue calls do we have and all everything, so that we don't miss any kind of customers, all that. So calls is not required, so that I'm not getting into more, because being a business analyst, the major responsibility when you're working on the CRM applications majorly is to define the task. First of all, you need to know how to create the task, which is essentially important, right? Creation of task is something essentially required for you being a business analyst. This is what is required. At the same time, you have to update the description of the application, followed by the duration, all that stuff. These are all the things which is important for you, right? So task creation is what you have to do it, right? So your major work will be on task, all that stuff. So dashboard creation is what one thing you need to learn, which was already learned by you. I hope last time we have discussed in it. Sales access letters and all everything will be created on its own, so that we don't require to do anything of that sort. But the major part is that calendar activities, because whatever the activities were performed and what are the deadlines to be completed so far, that calendar has to be updated here. At the same time, whatever the task we require to do, these tasks can also be updated here accordingly. So in reference to the pipeline and all, there are some leads which we have to see, followed by the opportunities and forecast, because forecasting is the one which is used to forecast the information in a graphical format and all. You will be knowing about the forecast of the information, what is that we are creating. So that forecasting of everything can be seen here, right? So this, whoever the user, right? So what kind of quota there belongs to for the fiscal period, right? So what is the forecasting amount, how much they have won, all that stuff. So of course, this is a data, this is an updated data, which is predefined data, which you can see here, which is not the real one actually, because this is for the financial year of 2022 quarter 4. Because if you have taken this into an account, this is considered quarter 4. So from October 1st to December 31st, usually that itself is the quarter where you can see here, right? So you can see the forecast recalculation finished, and if you have refreshed the page, automatically the information as well as the data everything will be updated here accordingly, right? So this forecasting and all, majorly you need to understand about the kind of opportunities what we have. That is something you must be knowing, right? So you must be knowing about these opportunities here, how these deal trackers or sales funnels and all everything was created. At the same time, you must be knowing about the kind of leads, what is that we have taken, followed by the number of tasks what we have created. At the same time, we must have a clear understanding about the kind of accounts, what is that we have created, to in what extent these active accounts were existing with us or not. If you want to create any kind of accounts, where we have to ensure that whichever the accounts are in the state of active, which are not inactive and all everything, we have to see here. So this part I am going to discuss in tomorrow's session. Okay.